Welcome to the Sandro channel. Make sure that you subscribe.
Hi folks, Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans, and today I gotta give a quick little shout out to one of my subscribers, Hendog HD. Thank you so much for recommending me this topic. I really appreciate that. And without further ado, let's jump right in here. So we're here on Cartoon Crave, the bit of a news Twitter feed for cartoons and such, you know. So they always have the latest news. Really great Twitter page if you actually have a Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. I just don't like Twitter. I'm not a big fan of social media. But they do bring us the news, so I got to report on it here. Infinity Train creator Owen Dennis has signed a 2-year deal with CBS to create animated works. So Paramount Plus, right? Paramount Plus and CBS here. They've been delivering some really, really great stuff. Like, no joke. I think out of this entire year, if I had to name one streaming service that had the best stuff, I think, honestly, I would just give it to Paramount Plus. Just alone from the South Park movies, the South Park season, and I think there was a 5-episode season of South Park earlier this year, and then on top of that, we also got Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. On top of that, Beavis and Butthead got its own season, a new reboot season, and there was other stuff. I'm not thinking of it off the top of my head, but there was a bunch of stuff for Paramount Plus, and obviously all the Nickelodeon stuff too, but it's just been a really good year for Paramount Plus, I feel. And it's probably just going to be getting better next year when the creator of Infinity Train brings us more shows. Well, I'm sure it takes like a couple of years to get these things made. But the next couple of years look really bright for Paramount Plus. But the thing people wanted to really talk about here was Infinity Train, right? Infinity Train. You see this, a different Twitter page here, Cartoon Base. They say basically the exact same thing. Owen Dennis has a 2-year deal with CBS focusing on animated television, working on several projects. But if Infinity Train were to ever come back, he could return to it. So I personally think he would finish out his 2-year deal, right? You obviously have to finish that out. And then after he's done that, if HBO Max has gotten their fucking shit together, because they have been having a bloodbath. Some people call it the bloodbath. I call it the choppening, the choppening. A whole bunch of different shows and things have been getting axed from HBO Max, and they're being distributed. In fact, one of you guys sent me, I think it was Anthony Garcia in my Discord. He sent me a link talking about how HBO Max or like Warner Bros. Discovery had a deal with, I believe it was Amazon, and Batman the Caped Crusader might be going to Amazon Prime, Prime TV, right? Prime Television. So that's very interesting. I'm not sure if I'll do a video talking about that, but you guys really wanted to hear my discussion on it. Infinity Train returning. Should it come back? The answer is yes. Yes. It left off on a cliffhanger. It absolutely needs to come back. What are we gonna have? Samurai Jack 2.0 over here? We're fucking 10 years later. 10 years later. Is it gonna come back 10 years later? No. Don't make us wait 10 years. Come on. I want to see this come back, 2025, 2026. Bring it right back. That'd be amazing if something were, even if Owen Dennis is kind of like in the background, just telling them how to do the story. He doesn't have to do like the animation, right? He could just tell them the story and how it would have played out. I would be fully on board, Infinity Train on board. You see, very nice. But yeah, Infinity Train, should it come back? Yes, it should. How many more seasons would I like to see? I'd like to see, infinite amount of seasons. It's Infinity Train. I actually really enjoy this show. In fact, you guys might not know this. Maybe some of you guys are not seasoned enough here of cartoon viewers, but Infinity Train was a pilot, right? It was actually a pilot before it got made into the show. And Owen Dennis actually came out and was like, hey guys, would you mind to go watch this cartoon? It was right before I canceled cable. I think like towards the very, very end, before we eventually in our household canceled cable. He said, hey guys, would you go at even at 5 in the morning? There was different pilots for Infinity Train. He's like, guys, can you go watch it? I would turn on my TV, and even though I seen it the first couple times, I already saw the pilot, right? But I would just leave it on. I would go right to the pilot, leave it on, just to support the show, to get it made, because I really enjoyed this cartoon. So yeah, I was one of the people that actually went on to TV and did watch the pilot live multiple times so we could get this show made, because I felt like there had been a real lack of action cartoons. Does anybody feel that? Cartoon Network used to be so good. Teen Titans and Ben 10 and Generator Rex, and what the fuck happened? What happened? What happened to Cartoon Network? They were the action network. Action cartoons. You want to see action cartoons? You go to Cartoon Network. They lost their magic. No, if you like Austin Powers, they lost their fucking mojo. They lost their mojo. I'm very sad at what's been happening with Cartoon Network. I just did a video talking about how Craig of the Creek actually is ending. Yeah, Craig of the Creek is ending. It seems that we're in a new generation of Cartoon Network here, and it looks very bad. It just looks bad. The only thing I'm interested in is Genndy Tartakovsky's Unicorn Warriors Eternal. It seems to be like a team of characters that have weird like powers and stuff. That's the kind of shit I would eat up as a kid. I love Samurai Jack, so Genndy has a great track record. Primal. I actually got into Primal. I've seen every episode. I even did a review of the final episode where okay, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you know what happens in that episode. It was pretty good. Pretty good episode there. And also, one of the other things I'm kind of looking forward to is, even though it's a reboot, it's not a new show. It's not something like new and exciting to get, Craig McCracken is the actual creator of the Powerpuff Girls, is literally actually coming back to remake a new Powerpuff Girls reboot. Because we had that garbage 2016 reboot. It was so bad. Oh my God. They introduced like this weird black Powerpuff Girl for ratings, right? The ratings were dropping really rapidly. They're like, guys, my God, it's the newest Powerpuff Girl. She was secretly there the whole time. Like I have no idea what they were thinking with that. They're like, fuck it. We could just secretly retcon a Powerpuff Girl into existence, even though, and many fans were pissed. I was pissed too. Shit, I just spit on the camera. Oopsie. I was very, very pissed. There was a Powerpuff Girl named Bunny. You guys remember Bunny? She was only around for one episode. Then she exploded. She died saving the town, like the town of Townsville, right? She died doing what she loved, I guess. And what a heroic character. What an amazing character. She only had one episode. Like, I can't believe they would just replace the fourth Powerpuff Girl with just this random character named Blistina, the fuck out of nowhere. I was shocked. I don't know, man. It was, they got me back in. They did get me back. I just wanted to see, like, what is this fourth Powerpuff Girl all about? And I was not impressed with Blistina at all. And I, much like other people, they watched those couple episodes where they introduced the new Powerpuff Girl. She doesn't even stick around, They made it this huge event where it's like in every different country there's a different Blistina voice actor and whatever. And I think, was it the voice of Marceline who was doing the voice of Blistina? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It was a whole big like rating trap where they try and draw you back in with some like wacky announcement. And I think it ultimately failed and turned people away from the show. They're like, this is just some woke nonsense. They literally just introduced this character out of nowhere and retconned her into the story where she had previously never existed before. And we're seeing this more and more with cartoons and even live action shows where Doctor Who, don't even get me started on Doctor Who and the new doctors and shit. I've had enough. I quit Doctor Who in Peter Capaldi's run. And I said goodbye and good riddance. And Infinity Train, I just have a nice little history with it because I actually supported this one getting made. I'm looking towards the future of, Cartoon Network. There's only like two major things like the ones I listed there. Batman Cape Crusader, that we don't even know if that's actually coming to HBO Max, and there's probably other shows, but like, it's looking bleak. It's looking bleak for Cartoon Network. Most of their major shows ended. It's even hard to find a show with continuity, let alone action, So am I in full support of Infinity Train coming back for more seasons? Absolutely. I'd actually, in fact, now that we're looking at a picture of Tulip, I actually kind of want to know whatever, like, do we do it? Now, I guess we would have to resolve Amelia, right? We would need, what was it? Maple? I think her name was Maple, right? Maple and Amelia run off at the very end of the of season 3, I believe it was. And do we see them in season 4? I can't remember. We might get like a glimpse of them there. I don't really. Or did they run into? Did those Asian guys or whatever run into Amelia? I don't remember. I know at the end of season 3, Simon dies. Basically, I think he could have been a reoccurring villain, and they kind of just tossed him to the side to die. I really did not enjoy Simon's death. I feel like this show really desperately needed a villain, and Simon could have evolved into some kind of like techno villain, you know. And we're never going to see that now. So poor Simon, he has been axed from the show. But Amelia and again, I thought her name was Maple, but I could be wrong. We never really got a resolution of what happened with them. And I do really want to find out what happens there. At the same time, I think my favorite character of the whole show had to be Tulip. And I would really love to see a bit of a time skip, maybe like 5 years later. Maybe Tulip writes a book. You know, we never really get to see what happens to her afterwards. It would just be amazing if Tulip writes a book or something, and people from around the world are like, they kind of have their own like little like secret circle where it's like, yeah, we actually went on the train too. And she just like creates a mass following of like people who went on the train, and maybe they try and find a way back there, you know? Or maybe that could just be a new story. Maybe never mind Tulip. Maybe we just have a brand new story where a bunch of people who had previously been on the train from all around the world come together and they're like, we actually hate Earth. We hate Earth. We want to go back to the train, you know? It would be really cool. It'd be really interesting. A bit of a dystopian kind of story there where it's like they hate Earth is just so bad that they're like, screw it. We just want to go back to the train. I do want to see these things. I want to see the possibilities. And you know, it's really interesting. What will Owen Dennis create? I don't know, but if it's anything as good as Infinity Train was, and granted, there was a little bit of, you know, here and there was some sprinkles of plot lines that I just didn't really care for. But mostly, I thought Infinity Train was just a really good show. Towards the end, the last season 4. I was honestly, season to season, I feel like the show really declined. I was not as excited. Like when season 1 hit, my hype levels were up here. Season 2, you know, they went down a little bit. Then it was like season 3, I was like down to here. But then the last like episode where it's like it left on a cliffhanger, I was like waning back upward. Then season 4 really just trickled me back down. I wasn't as excited. And I really hope that the show comes back maybe 2-3 years from now, comes back with a big bang, and we get more of maybe even Tulip's story or other characters. It doesn't really matter as long as I feel like they really need to conclude Amelia and not Tuba. That was the monkey. Mabel. We need Maple and Amelia. We need a conclusion. It would be great to see I can't remember the name of the cat. It's been too long. Simon and her cat there. The cat, I do want to see a conclusion to, you know, that character appeared in like every season. She was one of the only ones that did did one appear in every season? He might have, yeah. Yeah. I would like to see more of that. You know, I want to see more of that. What happens with the cat? What happens with 1-1? Does the train eventually get derailed? I mean, it's called Infinity Train, but you know, maybe somebody finds a way to like stop the train. I don't know. There's so many possibilities. I'd love to see this expanded into the future. And I feel like we had a great discussion here. That's the end of the video. Again, shout out to Hendog HD for the topic idea. And that's going to be the end of the video. See you guys later. Comment down below. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And why not watch an ad for your boy Sandro? Thank you guys so much. Peace out. Bye-bye. And I look forward to seeing what Owen Dennis brings us in the nearby future. That's it. Bye.